Welcome to the Telescope Show. We laugh, we discover God, and we totally nerd out. Katie, how are you doing?
Probably not as exuberant as you are this evening.
Well, my name is Matthew Seipel Anderson, and I've had 2 cups of coffee.
And it's late, so I am going downhill despite my coffee.
Well, on today's episode, we are talking about Miss Marvel, Misunderstandings, and more. Dun, dun, dun.
Nice wordsmithing there.
Thank you. Thank you. I do my best.
So, fun fact, Matt becomes alive at night, and he gets, extra excited and gets bursts of energy, and I don't.
Opposites attract, baby.
They sure do.
You're looking cuter by the minute. Well, Katie, did you know you can buy a propane blowtorch for $54.95 from Amazon, and it's designed to kill weeds on the side of your house? What could go wrong?
Nothing. That seems like a great idea. Matt, did you know that the longest place name in the world is 85 letters long? 85 letters long. It takes up 4 lines of text on my phone.
Yikes.
I'm not even gonna, it's like Tamatawa Kagangi. I mean, it's pretty incredible. 85 letters long.
Do you know what language that's in?
Well, it's in New Zealand.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, maybe we'll have to go there sometime. It'd be amazing to get a T-shirt that said, I've been to.
What'd be even more amazing is if you could figure out how to pronounce it.
That would be amazing. That would be something to celebrate. Well, did you know that Wednesday, June 15th, is National Prune Day?
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
It's also National Megalodon Day.
I do know a fair bit about megalodons. I have read many a book to my son when he was younger.
Yes. Sweet dreams, kid.
That's true. That's true. That's what he wanted to read, though. I mean, not that young.
No, he's not that young.
Did you know that lobsters have clear blood?
What?
Apparently. I mean, this is Google, so it's always right.
That just blows my mind. That's crazy.
It turns blue when it hits oxygen, though.
Oh. So how do they know if it's clear?
I guess they can see it before it hits oxygen.
Some kind of scope inside their body, or?
Well, they can do that.
I suppose. They're scientists. That's amazing. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Just deserves a round of applause. Good job, scientists. Well, Katie, are you ready to talk about Miss Marvel?
I am. Now I'm ready.
Now you're ready?
Yeah, I feel a lot more ready now.
Get the beat, get the blood flowing. Not clear blood, though.
I mean, so they say. I guess I only see my blood when it hits oxygen, so.
Maybe we have clear blood, too.
They never told us.
So, what were your initial thoughts about Miss Marvel? We watched it last night.
My initial thought when I started watching it was that it's slightly boring for me, and it's pretty teenager, younger teenager.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot of the animated Spider-Man with Miles Morales.
Yeah. It reminded me of something like That's So Raven or something.
Wait, of what?
That's So Raven. It was like a show, a kid show. I don't even know if it's still playing. It probably isn't. It's called That's So Raven.
I think so
it is.
Amazed that you are throwing out this reference. I have no idea what it's about.
Well, that's because it's like a girl's show, a young teenage girl's show, or even probably young kid, not even teenager. It's probably designed for 10-year-olds.
Well, I would agree. This show definitely had a Disney kids vibe.
Yes, there we go.
I thought it was fun. I really liked the actress Iman Vellani, who played Kamala Kahn. Thought she did a great job.
I thought so too. Very likable character, and I think the actress did a really good job.
And she looks a lot like the animated version.
I've only seen the outside of the animated version, but yeah, it seemed like they did a really good job picking someone.
After we watched the episode, we watched this little behind-the-scenes thing, and they interviewed her and explained that she actually was a big fan of the comic before they asked her to do the role, or before she landed the role. So she was like beyond excited. So that was cool to see too. Just her personal excitement for the project was cool.
And I may or may not have fallen asleep during that part, but I do remember that her and her friend, like Bruno, I don't know what his actual name is, but they seem to...
His name is Matt Linz.
It's almost like they knew each other prior to, or they had like good off-screen dynamic too.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like developed a friendship or were previous friends or something. So that was kind of a fun dynamic.
I think you and I have talked about this, that we related a lot actually to the parents, being parents ourselves.
Yeah, it just shows age. I think it just shows our age.
And it was really heart-wrenching to watch the scenes where there were misunderstandings between her and her parents.
Oh man, you can just like see what's happening. And it was over the top, and they had it over the top on purpose. But still, it's, of course, coming from a parent standpoint, you're like, they're just trying to keep her safe because, the world's crazy. And in the Marvel world, a whole bunch of crazy stuff had just happened. So all the more reason to keep your kids safe. From her perspective, she's 16 years old and is ready to spread her wings a little. And this is really important to her. This is really important to her. And they don't seem to get that.
Yeah, the parents are a little tone deaf as far as where she's at with her likes and her passions and
her dreams.
Her dreams, yeah.
They kind of look down on her as a dreamer. I'm sure that's going to come out. They referenced, like, the mom was referencing some of her family. It's my fault. It's my family. We come from a long line of dreamers. Like, that's probably going to come out later.
Yeah.
There's going to be some history there where...
I think you're right. I read something about that bracelet that she got, which is a family heirloom.
Right.
And I bet they'll dig into their family past.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Totally. There's going to be something there.
Yeah, totally.
I did also read that there's a shortage of ninjas in Japan. So maybe she'll become a ninja.
Oh, that would be so cool. She could deflect flying stars with that bracelet or block swords and stuff.
Maybe I only say that because there was the other movie that we saw with like the rings, the bracelet rings.
Oh yeah, Shang-Chi.
That was more that style than hers is more like just like powers.
Yeah. But she could become a ninja. I mean, she's young. She seems a little athletic.
She could.
She dreamed of like jumping her bicycle off a bridge onto a bus.
Which was really kind of funny. Like none of this stuff worked out.
Yeah,
as she had planned.
Pretty funny.
That seems pretty much more like reality than.
Yeah, that's also a classic teenager. And Katie and I have an interesting perspective, I think, because not only are we parents, but we have done youth ministry a lot, and so we've talked with teenagers about misunderstandings with their own parents and helped them walk through and maybe see different points of view, help them adjust their view of reality a little bit, but also be a shoulder for them to cry on and try to just help them. It's hard being a teenager.
It's hard being a teenager. It's hard being a parent, and there's a huge cultural shift between the two. So it actually, I think it really helps to know that you have a God who understands you. It's not like God is for my parents or God is for, whatever. God's for you. And I think that's a really helpful thing. And the Bible says that he knows us better than we even know ourselves. So, like...
Absolutely. And just realizing that God is with you through all these different seasons of life. And Katie brought up the scripture. I'll read it. It's come from Psalm 139. It says, "O Lord, you have searched me and know me. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. Before a word is on my tongue, you know it completely." So, yeah, it's a cool verse.
So people misunderstand intentions, misunderstand. Sometimes you can say something you really don't mean to hurt someone. It can be hurtful, kind of like what she did with her parents.
I have to say it was pretty funny seeing her dad in the Green Hulk costume.
That's true. And I would actually really have loved for them to go together just to see what would happen with that.
Right, but then she would run into her friends. She'd be all embarrassed.
That's true. Especially that girl who she was like, oh, man, you're here. How come you're here?
Yeah, her high school rival.
Her high school rival there that she ended up saving, but she also ended up kind of being the cause for her needing to be saved too. So
the show has set up a lot of interesting relationship dynamics. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Bruno.
Yeah.
And I every time I hear the word Bruno now, I just think of the Encanto song. We don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah.
But we talk about this, Bruno, obviously.
Yes. You have a little conspiracy theory about Bruno.
I wouldn't really call it a theory. We don't know enough yet. But
Yeah.
clearly there's a dynamic there. And he's like her biggest fan. He's such a support to her. He like has bent over backwards for her. He made her those super cool gloves. And then she ended up leaving them in a bathroom. That's got to be pretty hurtful. You could see the hurt on his face. There's misunderstanding there.
Big time.
Or maybe not misunderstanding. Maybe she didn't really care about them that much. I don't know. But he obviously worked hard on them.
Yeah.
But then she ended up trying on the bracelet and having superpowers. So I don't know what's going to happen. It'd be interesting to see if he ends up turning into a villain or if he stays her sidekick or if they just kind of grow apart and then come back together again, which is kind of your typical chick flick. I don't know.
If you had to make a prediction right now, what would you say?
I'm not going to. Don't push me like that.
I would say Bruno's too likable to be a villain.
He is.
I think he gets his feelings hurt, and they're kind of apart for an episode or two, but then fate brings them back together.
But, the gloves might come back later. But, I mean, clearly they were still fine because he helped her back home and helped her upstairs and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Who knows? Time will tell what happens.
Maybe the gloves are no big deal at all. I just made a big deal out of them.
Maybe. I think there's something there, though. Well, we enjoyed the show overall. Maybe not quite our demographic or our maybe not quite our jam. Well, Miss Marvel is ushering in a whole new generation of fans into the MCU. It will be interesting to see how she fits into the other shows and movies in the coming years. She's a likable character. And let us know your thoughts about Miss Marvel. We're one episode in so far. I think there might be another one dropping very soon, though. So let us know what you think. Are you disappointed that they changed her origin story a little bit from the comics, or are you cool with it? And we would love to hear all your thoughts and theories. Hey, this is completely off topic. I was at the comic book store the other day, and I bought a comic book. It's a #1 for a new Black Panther series. First issue. And my intent was to give it away on this show. But I have no idea how to do it.
So if you have an idea on how we can give away this comic book.
Let's try this. If you would like this comic book, email us. The email address is thetelescope@icloud.com.
You can also find it on our website.
Yeah, or go to thetelescopeshow.com. The email is on there.
Email us either a prediction or a misunderstanding that you've had.
Yes, and we will draw the name out of a hat or a bucket or something.
We'll come up with something.
It'll be amazing. And the winner will get a free copy of this new run of Black Panther.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. All right, everyone. We love you. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.